I heard was that they saw your movie on the drive-through,
Yeah,
and
that's
then they were
originally how it
like,
came about.
"Hey, let's do a movie with this guy," which it's so funny because like I honestly before they asked, I was trying to think if anybody would do it because there was rumors of people trying to do a Street Trash remake,
Yeah.
and then they asked you, and I was like, dude, that's so perfect. So like I'm kind of curious how that whole thing went down.
Yeah, yeah, it was on when Fry Barry was on Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, and it was like one of those watch parties, everybody's on Twitter, everybody's talking about while they're watching. And it came up quite a few times that Ryan Kruger would be great to do Street Trash. And as you said, over the years they were looking for somebody to do it, and either they didn't get the right scripts or they didn't get, it just wasn't the right fit. And Justin and Matt, that are producers of The Last Drive-In, they approached me and we went and they just said like, we think you're perfect to do, they saw Fry Barry and obviously we think you're perfect to do it. And then I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I got the idea, wrote the script. They loved the idea, and it was it was something different. It was more of a sequel and not a like a remake and stuff like that. And it had nods to the original film, and and
And
obviously
that
it
was
had all
from
the
the get,
aesthetics.
right? Like right off the start,
Sorry.
you knew that it was going to be a sequel, like right off the bat in
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
mind.
So straight away, I didn't want to copy anything. I mean, dude, you
Right.
know what it's like. Somebody
Sure.
goes, "Oh, let's remake this and remake that," and you're like, just come up with something new. Just come up with something different. So,
Yeah.
so I played homage to the original film with nods to it, of course, and stuff like that. And I took what people love out of that and made sure I put it in this one, but also put my stamp on it, and which was important. And I think that's why a lot of the original fans that have watched my Street Trash so far that really enjoy it and actually really like it, and they didn't think they would love it as much as they have.
Right. Yeah. No, it's and man, did you pile in the gore on this one? I was kind of
See, that's what you
curious,
have
like,
to do. You have to push that goal, man.
because
That
they
was the
were
thing. I
doing
think in the original, I think it was like 5, 6 major, uh, melts. So we were like,
showpieces or
we
whatever.
have to
Yeah.
do more. We
Yeah.
have to do more, and that was the challenge of doing like really good, uh, prosthetics and really good gore, and have that. All the different colors of all the goo spraying out, and yeah, so it was important. It was a part
Did
of.
they teach you any tricks or anything like the original guys? Because I think Jay Murrow didn't he do like practical effects or
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I know he was involved in a lot of the parts of the. I think he was in the movie, and then he was also like working behind the scenes and like all kinds of
yeah,
stuff. So
it's one of those things. It's like even with, it's cool when directors like I think that do that and jump in. And you look at like James Cameron, he jumps in and he does
sure.
this, and that's I always say if I didn't do acting and directing, I probably would have got into prosthetics. I probably would have got into prosthetics and animatronics and stuff like that. So even when I made Fry Barry, and the pregnancy scene and stuff like that, I was busy doing all that. So I had a lot of fun with that. So with this, we had a solid, great team doing all the prosthetics, but there was some bits here and there that I was helping out. Doing certain things. But yeah, it was cool, and it always fascinates me, and it's always nice to work close with these guys and come up with ideas and what's possible, what's not, and the gory, the better, and yeah, and it's just you want to push those colors and goo and explosions popping and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
curious. Like, what did you use? Like there's like the one that's in the trailer. I'll mention because like the girl spits through the fence, the green stuff. Like, what was that made out of? Like, that's what I'm kind of curious. Like, how do you get that
I don't even know,
color?
dude. It's
And
like I'm pretty sure it's all edible
sure,
stuff. Uh, but yeah, because it was, obviously it's always a mixture of, when you look at some of these prosthetics and the stuff that they make, whether it's like gelatine or like, I don't know, there's tons of shit that they use to get the right textures and to get the right thickness and the right slime and stuff like that. So yeah, it all depends. I actually wouldn't know what the fuck they
yeah,
mix.
it's I because like
To it.
it's
I'll be
just
lying. Just make it
It
look
was
cool. Just make
really
it look cool. Show
green.
me. Let it fucking drip. I'm like, all right, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, you did a lot in this, and it's funny too because like as much gross out stuff as there was in it, there was only one scene in this movie that truly grossed me out, and it was I don't
Yeah,
want to
which
say
one was that?
what. It's the Rat
Which
King
one?
with the foot.
Okay, yeah, yeah. You're not the first person to say
I
that.
was
Yeah,
like, no,
some
no,
people were
no,
like,
no.
I loved and enjoyed all the gore, but I'll tell you this. I did tell the other person this, but I'll tell you this because of that scene. So the actor, with the chain on, Heath
Yeah,
with the chain on and stuff, who has to lick the foot. He says while he was doing it, the sauce or whatever goo that was made that he had to lick on the foot and between the toes
oh,
and stuff. He was like he balked a few times, and he said he was gonna throw up. And I'm like, you're right. And he's like, dude, you fucking try this. And then I was like, I'll try it if you want. I was like, I'll take some of the sauce and try it. And it's like, you're eating it just to show that good faith that I'll try it. So I tried it, and
right.
I'm like, dude, that's all right, man. I think it's the foot. I think it's the foot that tastes bad. Because obviously, with the actress, you've got to put all the makeup on the foot and all
Oh,
all the
it's the
makeup to make it
nails
look
that did it for
dirty and
me.
stuff. And yeah, so obviously, I said, dude, it's not the food that you're eating. It's probably the makeup on the foot that's fucking rank, that tastes fucking bad. And then he was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was some great work on the toes, man. But I was like, oh, this is too much for me. I think it's the nails to just get to my head and everything.
Yeah.
But
I remember writing that, and I was just like, it was like I couldn't stop laughing because it's one of those things when you write a scene like that, when you want to cast that part, it's like somebody being naked in a movie. You go, well, we've got this part, but there is like you have to be naked. You know what I mean? So it's like there's this part, but you have to like lick and eat goo or porridge or wherever the fuck it was from this foot. You know what I mean? And an actor could easily go, I really want to do this part, but dude, I'm not fucking doing that. You know what I mean? He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But what the other thing that was funny was at one point there was another actress going to play that part at one point. But I wanted to do a lot of prosthetics, and I think she didn't want to have I think her skin was like allergic to a lot of prosthetics, so I had to cast somebody else because obviously I wanted
sure, yeah.
all the burn marks and all that stuff on the Rat King. So that was very important to me. So yeah, fuck, I lost my train of thought now. I was going to mention,
Uh,
but it
Foot
was
cream.
yeah, it was yeah. So it was oh yeah, that was it. So the whole thing with the foot was you know at one point before we got the other actor, and I didn't know the other actor was also because at the same time, for the actor, they've got to lick the foot and stuff, and then for the other actor, do they want their foot
In
getting
their
licked?
mouth, yeah.
You know what I mean? At the same time. So at one point, we had like an assistant that said, "Oh, you can use my foot," and I'm like. Okay, well, that's just a bit fucking weird, like some random assistant. Because then if we had this actress come in, and then the next thing is the guy that took the part on thinks, oh yeah, I'm gonna be licking this foot, and then all of a sudden this like stunt foot comes on, and then you'll be like, dude, why am I licking this foot? I've been like totally mentally preparing myself for this foot
Stunt
and not that foot.
foot.
So yeah, so
That's like a, it's like a, it
I thought
reminds
that
me
was
of
fucking funny.
Orgasmo or whatever with the stunt cock. Uh,
Yeah.
so okay, so you had a pretty big hand in writing this too, and you have a lot of
Yeah.
characters in this. This is a big movie, like a lot of characters. I'm sure that was a lot of work. Do you have any like early characters, and like what were some of your favorite characters to kind of write?
I think my favorite character, one of my favorite. Listen, I love all the characters. I really
Sure,
do. All the characters. There's something in it for everybody. You've got Ronald, who was amazing, who's the lead in the film, and he's like looking after he's like the father of everybody.
sure.
You got Chef, which is like the wife of the family. and he's just he was probably one of my favorite characters, Chef. Um, yeah, he's cool, and obviously it went for that whole Stanley Kubrick vibe with him as
Right.
well.
Yeah, he totally
And
did. Yeah.
then you got like Pappenvors, and Pappenvors is just that, like, the comic relief. And then Alex, the girl, she's that heart with a relationship with Ronald and her. And then of course Sokol and Two Bit. They were obviously, that was just fun, very very fun to do, and obviously we
Those
had a
two
lot
were
of
kind
fun.
of my
There's a
favorites.
bit, there's a bit of everything for everybody,
Yeah. No, I like that. The Sokol bit really kind of threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that, which
Yeah.
I fucking love that. That's like one of the best things. And then you added that thing at the very end. So everybody, if you get to see the movie, watch it to the very end because there's a fun surprise thing for a couple of people at least.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So they pretty much gave you like full reign to just kind of do whatever you want, and then you presented the script to them and said, "Hey, this is what I got."
Yeah, yeah, and that was, I think, obviously they trusted me a lot because of Fry Barry. They
Sure.
knew I was a perfect fit, and yeah, we wrote the script. And as time went on, and even before, like 2 months before, I worked on the script a lot, because sometimes you write a script and you don't even know if it's going to get made.
Yeah.
And and then you step away from it for a bit, and then you look and you go back and you look at it and you think like, fuck, why did I write that? Or this is terrible. And then you go back and you add and you correct things and change things, and you see things that you didn't see before. So it's always nice to walk away and then bring about up to date when you know that the film's actually gonna get made.
Yeah. No, it's definitely hard to walk into a legacy sort of as street trash, which, some people absolutely hate and think is horrendous because it's so
Yeah.
exploitative and all these different things. But when you watch your old movie, like I said, I was like, yeah, when you watch these two movies, that these two people have the idea. So it makes sense that they definitely picked you, and I'm happy that they did because
Thank you so much, man. Thanks.
yeah, man. Because it's gonna be, I mean, there's just not many people that could do it, I don't think. I mean, there's a couple, maybe, but
Yeah.
but also, has there ever been any talk of them extending it or doing something else with it in the future?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment right now, the amount of people um that have asked for a follow-up to what we've just done now. So uh that would be awesome. That would be really cool. But again, it depends on story, and obviously I would like to bring back definitely some of these characters. Otherwise I think it's too random to do something else. It's like the cool thing is with something like this is that we've established characters now, which is great. So people know who they are. And now, like, if we did another one, it would be, we can have fun. We can have a
Right.
lot more fun and push it a lot more, which is awesome.
Not so much exposition of like where these people come from and where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be all in the bag straight away. So I guess we would, yeah, there's room there just to have like a lot of fun as everything's been established.
Well, and I know you got a bunch of other interviews lined up, but I'll ask you this last one here. Is there anything in the movie that didn't make it that you wish could have made it that might not be too spoilerific? Because I don't want to
Yeah, there is. I think the big thing with this, there is quite a few scenes that didn't make it into the film.
Mhm.
And it's one of those, like, when you edit everything together and you look at stuff, and then you're also looking at time, and you've got to crunch the time, and you don't want it to be too long and stuff like that. So there's a few scenes that didn't make it for very good reasons, that it just didn't fit in the end, and then or just dragged it out too long. And then there's other bits that were really funny. Like, for example, there was the Sex Anonymous scene, and because it's a flashback, it's got to be
Yeah.
quick, can't be too long. So I had to make it shorter. But that scene as just a standalone scene, longer, with all the extra stuff in, is actually really fucking funny. But it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work in the movie. And then there is some other things here and there that add that that actually relates to the original a little bit more as well. And there was the one character, Reggie, that I jumped in and played, and there was a whole thing there with I wish kind of made it into the film, and it was funny because it touched on Stanley Kubrick because a chef, and then it touched on the moon landing and this because he was like a conspiracy theorist, and then it was the whole government thing, and it went back to the originals. So there was a few things that I wish was in it, but I guess there's like four very very small things that I think would have been cool to have in this. But it is what it is. But I'm very happy with the movie. I'm very happy
Sure.
the way it turned out. Yeah, and I'm very happy. It's cool, and my cast and crew were amazing. My post team were amazing. So yeah, I think everybody did a great job and brought the A game.
It's a big movie, man. Like it really is. You really kind of made it like the lore come out. And that's why it seems like having a sequel or something in the future would be great if there is. But and I'm sure I mean I know Vinegar Syndrome was attached to this like pretty quick in the beginning and or at least somewhere while making it. And
Yeah,
they're going to be putting out something soon. Hopefully some of the extras you were mentioning might be in there
yeah,
and
yeah. A lot of it's going to be on the Blu-ray. So with Vinegar
perfect.
Syndrome, a lot of that's going to be on there, which is awesome. So it's not lost forever, you know.
Right. Okay, good. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. I wish you the best of luck. I look forward to your next movie, obviously. So hopefully I'll see you then for that one as
Amazing,
well.
cool
So do
man,
you have any
amazing.
ideas of anything that you want to do necessarily?
There's a few things. There's maybe Fry Barry 2.
Ah.
There's maybe Frankenhooker, maybe. There's a thing that
Oh
we're looking
shit.
at.
Well, that is
Um,
all northeastern America. So
yeah,
you tapped into street trash, so now you got what's his name from New York as well.
yeah. There's stuff flying around, and then there's another movie that I've been shooting, very different than Street Trash, very different than Fry Barry. It's a black and white, very gritty underground.
Okay.
Flick that I'm making with Gary Green that I've started, and I've
Nice.
probably only got like four days left of filming, which I'll shoot this year, and I'll probably bring that out next year. But it's very different. It's basically it's about an actor that can't act that wants to be a famous actor, and then he ends up going like full method and like starts fucking killing people and just and losing the plot. And from the start, he's just a weird dude,
Oh.
Gary, and he just starts going crazy.
Well, definitely let me know when you're ready to release anything of that because I'm down, man. I want to check it out.
Join us